G'day and welcome to the Box Seat. I'm Pete Anthonus. It's good to be here to preview 7 races from Ascot Racecourse this Wednesday, the 1st of May. A quick look at the forecast. It's going to be sunny and 20 degrees. The track should be a good 4 and the rail is out in the 14 metre position. Race 1 jumps at 1:14. It's the budget car and truck rental handicap over 1,000 metres. And our horse and focus hasn't been seen in about 40 days, but we'll have a look at the last start of Machino Miss.
He goes for home at the top of the running and put up about 2.5 gates of Babylon. Further back in the field, in fact, 3 lengths behind the Machino Miss, starting to run on from Strasmore. But with 200 left to go, it's Kiss the Breeze well out in front. Kiss the Breeze by 2 or 3 lengths. Interest in the minor placings. Kiss the Breeze ridden right to the line there. She hasn't got a loft left, but she'll hang on and win from Machino Miss, who was...
Machino Miss hasn't been seen in about 7 weeks or so, and if we had a look at the last start there at Pinjarra, it was finishing off really strong despite being just slightly restrained early and getting back on what was a relatively slow tempo overall. I think in this race it does seem to map in a slightly better position from gate 5. The small field again seems to be suitable, and the horse has a history of running really fast last 600 and 400 metre sprints, so it does look suited in this event. Second pick is a 3, Lido Beach, who's coming from another race at Pinjarra, managed to get itself up onto the pace on that occasion. Again, ran around reasonably slowly, but utilised a good turn of foot over the last 400. It was just collared late there by Not To Be Missed, who showed a really nice turn of foot on that occasion. Again, it maps to go forward in this race. Third pick is the 1, Olga Luisa. It's done absolutely nothing wrong so far this prep. In fact, it's been very consistent indeed. I just think in this race it may very well end up being behind a couple of other runners and requiring a little bit of extra room coming into the straight. And then fourth pick is the 4, Sphinx Secrets, who's coming out of one of my favoured 930 or 920 Narrogin metre events. And if it gets any luck out in front, it could be bowling along and suited by the step up to the 1,000. In race 1, the 6 on top for me, Machino Miss from 3, Lido Beach, the 1, Olga Luisa, and 4, Sphinx Secrets. Race 2 at Ascot jumps at 1:54. It's a Tab Touch Better Your Bet maiden over 1,400 metres. And for our horse and focus, we'll have a look at the most recent trial of Muscabello.
Strongly now, 2.5 lengths away in third place is Tuck and Roll. Starting to come through is I Wonder for Kennedy. It's getting home hard, and they're clear from Muscabello, and down the outside, starting to run home fairly is Gunflint. At the 150 though, and here comes I Wonder on the outside. It raced up to Cricket Into House, took the lead, and I Wonder sails away to beat Cricket Into House and third.
Suspect we might get a bit of a price about this galloper, but if we go back through its runs last preparation, it did seem to be better suited when there was more tempo in its races, and this looks exactly the case for this event on Wednesday. I think the horse seems to map in a very good position. I thought the recent trial was good. It was just going to the line under its own steam despite being slightly restrained in the first part of the trial. So at the each way price, I'll be going with Muscabello on top. Second pick is a 7, Megachino, who's drawn quite horribly, but if he can use a bit of momentum out of the barriers, he should be able to position itself in about the first 4 or 5 runners. Recent runs have been pretty good. It's been running on fairly strong over the last 400 metres. Maybe a slight query going up to 1,400, might have needed just the one more run. Third pick is the 8, He's a Gunslinger, who we haven't seen in 46 days. Last time we saw it, it was just restrained a little bit early, got back in the field. Seems to draw relatively soft. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing in this bigger field, but if it does get its way through the clear passage in the straight, it may well be finishing very strongly. And then fourth pick is a 10, Barramagic, who again has a pretty sticky draw, but if we go back to that first start, it wasn't a high tempo race and the horse did finish well on that occasion. In race 2, the 5 on top, Muscabello from 7, Megachino, 8, He's a Gunslinger, and 10, Barramagic. Race 3 at Ascot jumps at 2:34. It's the Crown Sports Bar Plate over 1,200 metres. And for our horse and focus, we'll have a look at the first start of Rocky Path.
Smile for Me, Protected Action is following the favourite War Saint, who kicks away. Down to the 250, War Saint, the leader by more than 2 lengths on Protected Action, immediately under the Persuader. Further back, Noble Impact, and then came Mini Winnie. It's War Saint, though, clear close to home with about 50 left to go. It's got the second all parcelled up. A nice effort by Mini Winnie coming home well late.
Rocky Path seemed to get too far back over the 1,000 metres, but really showed a great turn of foot over the last 400 metres. In fact, it ran the second fastest 400 and the third fastest 200 of the entire card. So for its first start as a 2-year-old, that seems pretty impressive. Gate 3 seems reasonably suitable. If you could just get that one extra pair forward, it would be very ideal, but I suspect the extra 200 metres as well will be right up its alley. So it goes on top for me from the one Mia Dolce, who's been pretty consistent across the 2-year-old grade in these sort of events. This one doesn't look like the strongest 2-year-old race it's been up against. In fact, it's been up against much stronger opponents running in some of those features recently, and it got the job done last start at Pinjarra. Third pick is the 6 Brave Contender. It's another first starter. It jumped well, landed in the box seat and responded well and had to take the inside path. It did everything correct. It's only had the one trial so far. And then fourth pick is the 3 Annihilator, who last trial was against High Range, and I thought it did quite a good job there. Last start, or its first start I should say, it was a little bit slower away and ended up a bit further back than expected. So if it can begin a little bit better, position itself a bit more forward, it might be better suited in this event. 10 on top, Rocky Path from 1 Mia Dolce, 6 Brave Contender and 3 Annihilator. Race 4 at Ascot jumps at 3:12. It's a Schweppes handicap over 1,200 metres. And we'll have a look at the most recent trial of Magical Charge, who was scratched at the gates last seen at Ascot.
Outside is Magical Charge. On the inside is Durandal. Down the centre of the track is Rock Magic, now joining in with a pretty good run. And just behind them, starting to come through as well as Super Maxi at the 250. Man Time has got the lead. Rock Magic right down the outside. Mystery Miss still running 5th out wide. Rock Magic has raced up on the outside. Great Shot goes with it. Rock Magic beat Great Shot, 3rd Man Time.
As I mentioned, Magical Charge was scratched at the gates before resuming last start. It's since been back to the trials, and what a trial it was. It was behind Rock Magic. Magical Charge had excuses in that trial, however. It was 3 wide without cover and was really only beaten late, 3.5 lengths behind Rock Magic, who was under a hold but in good time, is probably quite a good preparation for this event. Jumping from gate 2, Chloe Azzopardi should take this galloper straight to the front and prove pretty hard to run down. Second pick is the 1 West 54th, who I thought ran really well at Pinjarra. It got itself into a winnable position, was just collared late, but it was doing everything towards the line. So I suspect stepping up to 1,200 metres and the soft draw should be in its favour. Third pick is a 3, Wanna Be Good, who's really showing some good form since moving over to WA and joining Lindsay Smith's stables. We've seen last start was actually running a career best, and all things considered, it will get back in the field, but it will be strong through the line. Fourth pick is a 2, Truly Belong. It jumped well. It got shuffled back a few pairs, so if it can just hold its position a little bit more forward, it would be more ideal for this galloper. But it did finish with a good last 400 sprint, so if it can get that momentum in the straight, you would imagine it'll be strong through the line. On top in race 4 is the 8 Magical Charge from 1 West 54th, the 3 Wanna Be Good and 2 Truly Belong.